It is no small thing to get close to a whale. I'd handled whale bones before and even touched a dead whale on the beach. But one time, a baby gray whale came right up and touched me, and that was life-changing. My name is Joyce Majiski. I live in Whitehorse in the Yukon Territory. Over the years, I've seen more and more plastic washing up on shorelines. It disturbs me to know that animals and birds get caught in abandoned fishing nets and ingest plastic thinking it's food. To me, one whale washing up on shore with a gut full of plastic is one too many. But I wonder, if it's in their bodies, won't it be in ours? I've always loved whales. Who doesn't? And when I found out there was an entire skeleton on Salt Spring Island, well, that's where this part of the story takes place. So this is the short version of a long story. For this project, I'm building a full-sized humpback whale out of ocean salvaged styrofoam as the third installation in a series about water. Ocean Legacy, a company in Vancouver that arranges coastal cleanups, heard about my project and offered to supply me with all of the materials I'd ever need. But I also managed to salvage some styrofoam of my own. I spent a month in Vancouver doing research at the Beatty Biodiversity Museum at UBC, experimenting with different materials, and it was Chris Stinson who put me in touch with Cetacea on Salt Spring Island. These folks articulate whale skeletons for a living, and they have a humpback belonging to UBC stored in their shop. I popped over to meet them and the skeleton. During this visit, I discovered that there was actually an artist-in-residence program on Salt Spring. I spent 9 months on Salt Spring Island, 4 of those as artist-in-residence. I made regular forays to Mike DeRoos and Michi Main's studio, Cetacea, bringing a few whale bones back at a time to my own space. There, I'd saw chunks of styrofoam into workable blocks and then start carving each bone with an X-Acto knife. Then in March, Mike and Michi decided to bring the entire skeleton to my studio because of the COVID isolation requirements.
Slices like cheese when it's sharp, and it gets all caught when it's not.
Okay, action.
Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about the styrofoam, which is ocean salvage styrofoam. So it's got these really kind of imperfections. This piece here apparently had something drilled through it. So yeah, it's got a very cool hole in it. That'll be in the main body of it. And another piece here that I'm not sure if it's gonna last or not. It might get carved away. But it's kind of, you know, the beauty of using found materials is that you get to work with what you've got. In the new year, my friend Patrick helped me out by roughing out some of the bigger pieces with his bandsaw. This saved my wrists and hours of work as well. Working with plastic and styrofoam is a really messy business, especially using these salvaged materials. I spent a lot of time vacuuming. This was a huge and ever-changing learning process, as each shape was so complex and unique. Okay, I'm almost finished the first jawbone. This is the length of it. It's about 6 feet long. Some really complicated shapes here and different angles that if I don't get right, then the jawbone won't hang in the right place. So it's been a study of flipping it upside down and back and forth, and the real jawbone is quite heavy. So yeah, I've just been propping it up with blankets and things. Almost done. bone. Okay, a quick catch up. Working on the second palette here, scooping things out. And here's the palette that I'm working from. And here is one of the ear bones I'm just about finished with. And over here is the cranium, which is just in the process of being roughed out. And so I've got the box here with measurements, the center line, the top line, to give me some reference. All right, the second palette is done, which means I can focus 100% on the skull. Da, 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 da. Over the winter, I learned more about this young whale and that she had drowned off the Vancouver Island coast. Her tail had been looped in the anchor rope of a herring fishery. And this affected me deeply, maybe wrapped in the memory of touching that baby whale. I wanted to know whether she had died alone. This knowledge led to an important change in the installation because my initial intention was to suspend her with her tail up and her head down as if diving. I've since changed my mind on that orientation.
Notice the precise measuring.
When I was working with the bones, I would start by drawing them. So there is a drawing of every single of the 177 bones that I've carved by hand, and that will be in the exhibition as well. Okay, here I am at the cranium. The glue failed again, so this piece fell off. I'll have to re-glue it again when I've carved it a bit. So I've got the eyes basically roughed out and starting to carve away more of the chunks. You can see it's a bit of a complicated shape here. And the eyes, getting there. The school of herring is made from plastic bags that I've collected over the last 2 years and ironed and sewn them together to make the fabric that I'm using for both the herring and for the whale skin. And the skin is mostly transparent with colorful bits within. It's taken the awareness of my own consumer habits to new heights. And although I believe we can live more harmoniously on the globe, we really have to want to do this. Daniel Jank has created a beautiful, evocative soundscape, which is a conversation between humans and whales. The gallery space will be converted into an underwater landscape, a place to dream and hopefully talk to the whales. This video documents my process to date. I have yet to work out how and then actually articulate the bones, as well as work out a few other elements of this installation. Song of the Whale opens at the Yukon Arts Centre in Whitehorse, Yukon, in December 2020 and runs till the end of February 2021. And who knows what will happen to her after that. For more information, visit my website.